Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lady D Psychic. This will be my video in my mediumship forensic mediumship that I'm doing. So this is going to be on Ivan Milat. For those who don't know, so Ivan Milat is a serial killer that we had in Australia from the late 80s. So he started in 1989 and then it ended. Look at my notes that I have here. So the last and the early 90s, so the final killings happened in 1992 in April. So we're going to look at the astrology, the stuff that I have found in the astrology. I don't have his time of birth. I've just got his birthday. But even with just that, the information and the transits that I have, it does explain a lot. So just remember in astrology, it is about using the energies and we have hindsight. So sometimes, or when I do readings, and I always see what I get first before I go to the charts, but often with my readings, they can link up with the charts. But they have the different energies. Just because the energies that are happening in this person's life happen that way doesn't mean it's going to happen in everybody's life. It can be the same energies, but different story. But what I have found, it links up. I was just about amazed actually. So let's start. So yeah, he's this guy. He's not a nice guy. Like serial killers, most of them aren't very nice. But we'll just go through. So what happened with him briefly, the facts, and then we'll go to the charts. Okay, so with him. So the timeline of what happened. So it happened on the 30th of 1989 was the first known victims. So that's where we had James Gibson and Deborah, I think it's Everest. They were both Australians, and this is all happened in New South Wales. So it happened down in National Park, Belanglo. I can't say the word. Belanglo State Forest National Park is where they were found. So unfortunately, James, he was stabbed multiple times. Deborah, she was beaten. Yeah. And then we have on the 20th of January, 1990, we've got Simone from Germany. And her body was discovered the 1st of November 1993. So all these bodies were more discovered in the 90s, but so altogether there were 7 victims that he had. And we'll go more into them, I think, later in the video. I was getting some stuff from the victims. We had one survivor, so in 1993. So a British backpacker, Paul it's onions, contacted the police after seeing of news reports that he had escaped from a man who tried to kill him on the 25th of January 1990. He later identified the man as Ivan Milat as his attacker, and the evidence became one of the major breakthroughs for the investigations. So he was he's the lucky one that escaped that we know of. I feel like that there are more victims, and I personally feel like they will be found due to DNA. I feel like there's potentially 5 more that what I was picking up. But anyway, let's go to the charts so we can profile this man, and I'll show you what I mean with the charts that I've got here. So he was arrested. He died in prison too. I believe he died of cancer. Actually, I believe it wasn't long ago either. Anyways, let's go to the charts as always. So I'll share my screen. Okay, so this is Ivan Milat's. Now we can't look at the whole chart. I don't have his time of birth. I just got his birthday and place of birth. So we can't look at the whole chart. But it's enough to see personality and to see certain transits, which I found was actually really interesting. So he is a Capricorn. So Capricorns are very hardworking people. They are structured. They like to follow the rules, but they'll bend the rules to suit them. So if they can break the rules where they won't get caught, they will break the rules. But they're all about law and order. They are not emotional. They're about getting the job done. But they are very committed. They're also about endurance too when we're looking at Capricorns as well. Now, His moon, if he was born very early in the morning, he'd be a Taurus moon. I kind of felt like he's a Gemini moon. And he's also got Mercury in Sag, Venus in Aquarius, and Mars in Sag. He's not going to be an emotional person either because of the Capricorn sun. And also, we're looking at the Venus in Aquarius. He'll be holding back. He's not going to be a warm, cuddly, soft person. This is someone who sort of holds in the emotions, can be a little bit, I feel like, confrontational um, at times. I feel like, but at the same time, he knows what he has to say. He can be very charismatic. He can be very, very chatty and start a conversation up. There's a youthfulness and there's a cheeky smile that he has in some of the pictures. And he told me when I was tuning into this energy that he does have a cheeky smile. That Gemini and the Sag would give that youthfulness to him. But also having those two signs there, especially Mercury and Sag, he'd be a good person, a good storyteller. So he'd be able to spin a yarn or spin a story in a way to manipulate or to move people in how he wants them to move. Also, being that moon in Gemini is also going to make him very sociable or wanting to be sociable and knowing who to pick, like, because they're about networking with Geminis. So he would know who to pick, and I kind of feel like he felt like they were easy pickings and he was picking people who he felt like maybe wouldn't be missed or there'd be no trace or that he was targeting certain people was what I feel with him. Sometimes he didn't get it right, but I feel like he was targeting specific people, and a lot of the people he was targeting were backpacker, or they're called the backpacker murders. So he was targeting people who are backpacking, and um, they are mostly women as well, um, and they were young people too, as backpackers usually are. But he would just have this way of wording things and relating to people and to getting what he wants. He also would have a bit of a temper. He's got Mercury in retrograde, so there's a lot going on in his thoughts, in his head, and it is close there to Mars, so that can also be a strength and give him that charisma that he needs also in Sag. But it also can be arguments too, very vocal and maybe aggressive. He also had a square to Mars and Jupiter too. He also, I feel like with him too, if things aren't going to go his way in terms of how these things were done, it would sort of get him sort of a bit more aggressive as well. Because Sag is about travel, and and I just thought there's a link there with the Mars in Sag, which just cover travel. There's a link there why he's targeting the backpackers as well. This is also someone who seeks adventure, who's a risk taker. Even though Capricorns like to play it safe, having the Mercury and the Mars in Sag is wanting to take risks too. So that is also something to remember about his personality as well. I really don't feel like this is an emotional person. I have a feeling, and this could be depending on the time, but I kind of felt like the moon is closer to Uranus and if I looked at his exact chart, I kind of felt that it would be closer, which means there'd be unexpected. The way he deals with things might be unexpected. He might sometimes have unexpected emotions come up, and he'd also unexpected things happen to him in the home as well, is what I feel like with him. Okay. Now, with some of these transits, so I've gone here to the 30th, to December 30th, 1989. He also so in 1988, he had Saturn come over the sun there, and that energy is still kind of hanging around there when we get to this, when he got the first victim. In also 85, so 1985, he had Neptune go over the sun. These two planets also met up. They conjuncted as well, which can cause, like, especially in the sun, We are looking at something like psychological events. Looking at problems with delusion. So there could have been an episode, like he may have had a mental health episode, or there could have been um, like a belief system or come up with ideas might have been around that time. Um, and I do feel like there's a thing in planning, and I do feel like he was very he knew how to do rope ties, and he was very particular about how he would tie them up and doing things with the ropes. But before it happened, he had this conjunction. Now, with Neptune over the sun, it can be, as I said, delusion. It can be a fog. You don't know where you're heading. It also can be like a dissolving in the life, like something can end. I'm not sure what could have been. That's something I forgot to ask to research, but we know that anyway from the chart. With Saturn there, it's a bit problematic, but having these two energies together, it can definitely be some psychological episode happened. It could have activated something in his chart where he's gone a bit, I'll say, psycho or mental health trauma. At the same time, so this day he had also Uranus over the sun. So he's got these, and his energies are sort of mixing together because they're close. So when they're close, the energies can mix. So you're mixing Uranus with this energy, and it's over the sun. And plus, before that, they'd hit Mars and Mercury. It's something unexpected in his life. So this would be unexpected to do this. But I feel like when I asked him the reason why did he do this, I got that he was bored and he was looking for some fun. So there's something must have happened. Also down here, when we look at Saturn, we've got Jupiter over Saturn. So we've got luck with a problem over here. Then I would also thought was interested in this chart. At the same time, he's got the North Node, so a destiny, it's like a destiny point, a life lesson over Venus. So this is about love or money. So this is kicking off a life lesson for him regarding love or loved one or money. Now these are strangers to him, but I kind of feel like that there's something going on, and this is like linked. Um, and we've got so luck with the problem. So the problem of dealing with what he's done, he was successful. Also, too, we've got Chiron. It's retrograde, so it already had hit his North Node. So Chiron, the planet of pain. So it's like a painful life lesson. This is coming up. So interesting that he started this killing streak, or what do you want to call it? These episodes, these things, these unfortunate situations are coming up, but we can see in the chart, as I said, it's hindsight. So if I'm looking at someone's chart, I'm never going to say, unless I really pick it up, that they're an awful person psychically. If I'm just reading the energies, I'd say there's definitely been some incidents in the past few years leading up to it where, as I said, it could be mental health, or there's things that I feel like have activated these things happening. I do feel like he planned it with someone else. I don't feel like he worked alone with all of it. I feel like when we've had two victims, there's some where there has been just one victim. When I've had two victims, I do feel like he has worked with someone else. I kind of feel like it was a family member, like we're looking at brother, someone with the same blood, not cousin. So but then you can also see in the chart that it's a starting, there's a pattern here. There's a starting of a life lesson or destiny point that is going to lead into some pretty awful situations here that you can see in the chart. So that is what I kind of felt like. It's interesting how the astrology matches up with this. All right, so the next chart I'm going to look at here is when the first body was discovered. So we're going to change the date to this. So we're going to look at the body was discovered on the 19th of September 1992. This is when the first body was discovered. So feel like he'd be quite irritable to family as well. I kind of feel like, and being a Capricorn, he's not going to be a family person, probably didn't care. And I feel like in the end, it was like on the hunt as well as what I kind of get from him. So he's, and the last confirmed murder. So this was in 92. So in April was the last murder. And then in September, the last two that he did actually, they got found, is what happened as well, which watched targeted the search as well. So two bodies, um, though, yeah, two bodies were found. So this is like their name is Joanne and Caroline. They were found by orienteers in the state forest at uh, Belang. I'm gonna write it up for you guys so you can see what it is. So they were found, and in October, November 93 is when the remaining five victims were discovered during an extensive search in the forest. Okay, so, all right, let's have a look here. All right, so these were never found. So what I can see coming up, he had this delusion that he was not going to get caught. Why do I say that? This is what I felt from him when I connected to the energy. But with the astrology, he had Jupiter transiting this, Jupiter conjunct, his conjunct Jupiter itself, and then went to Chiron, and then it came over Neptune too over this period here. So I feel like, and when we get to Jupiter is going to conjunct Chiron, which is a little bit after the bodies were found, there was a luck with a painful issue. I don't know what that is. Oh, we don't know what that is, but I feel like this is sort of giving him his confidence. And also too, we have this conjunction happening with Neptune and Uranus. So this is like unexpected delusion, and I feel like this is where we're like he had this thing of gonna be fine, that nothing was gonna happen, and I feel like he slipped up the last two victims when I tuned into him. He was told me that he did go overconfident and that they weren't as careful. They were overconfident with the last two victims. And the last guy, he had Saturn come over. So in of that year, April, May of that year, Saturn came over to Venus. Now that's when that person got away. So there's problems in the chart with love or money. Love on anyone that we ever love, we've sort of known. And that surprisingly, that's when that last person that he attempted to murder got away, was during that transit. But this transit up here of Neptune and Uranus, it is, as I said, you don't know what you're going to get with Uranus. It's unexpected, it's unusual. And having Neptune, it's that delusion, that fog. It's like an unexpected delusion, an unexpected fog. And I feel like with this, it's giving him that and mixing with that Jupiter energy over this side. It's giving him this energy of he's not going to get caught. And I kind of feel like as well he had like an anger or a rage, and he was letting some of that out on the victims. With that, I didn't actually look when that transit. I should have looked. He had Chiron going over Pluto. So that would have been a couple of years before, or maybe in the year before. Also, during the time of the bodies being discovered, he had Mars come over Saturn, so it's problems with anger. So when they got discovered, he probably was angry about it, but at the same time, he had this feeling that everything was going to be okay. Too. Just seeing if there was no. We can also see he's got this Venus, Mars, there's this cheekiness about him, too. Okay. Let's quickly go back. I'll go back quickly and just see when Chiron was over this Pluto, because that would have been something significant at that time too. If we go back maybe 90, oh, not quite. So 91. Okay, so it was in the same year at 92. So it would have been earlier, 92. If I go backwards, then if I go around May, June. Sometimes these planets they go on, and Chiron has a funny transit in the way it does. Okay, so we got in July, July 92. That would have been a very frustrating. That would have been a transit, and that energy would still be there, even though it was up here when the first discovery was made. But that is a transit of like destruction, rebuilding, but something to do with pain. It's something to do with a wound, and I kind of feel like it triggered something in him with that as well. But it's just interesting the transits that are lining up, and I feel like a lot of it is like a delusional and frustrations that are coming up when these things are happening around him. Now, when we go to the last chart is when he got arrested. Okay, and then we'll do more on what I've actually gotten from his energy as well. I want to show you these transits. So now we're going to go to when he was arrested. So he was arrested on the 22nd of May, and 93 is when they had the evidence to arrest him. Now, the trial actually happened on the 27th of July 96 is when the trial happened. So the trial began on the 26th of March 1996. Oh, hang on. I've got the dates. Some of these dates, there's a lot of dates here in my research in the timeline. So, um, there's a 22nd, but then there's also the trial, but it's also charged with seven murders. So I think he was charged, um, oh, yeah, so he was arrested and then he was charged on the 31st of May, he was charged, 94. And then the trial began on the 26th of March, 1996. And then on the 27th of July, 1996, he was found guilty on the seven murder charges. Okay, it's a lot of dates. Okay, so this is when he was first arrested. Okay, so during this time, we've still got this conjunction here of the Neptune at Uranus, so that I reckon it's still there's a delusion here. He never admitted guilt, so he always said that he was innocent, even though the evidence was there to say yes, he had done it. And I just feel like that, and I can see in the transits why that is. The Jupiter hitting these planets would be for one thing, especially Jupiter hitting Neptune, giving him this belief. Jupiter just gives you a gift, but I find like it gives you one gift, and we don't know what house is actually in. Like, as I said, I can't read the full chart because we don't have the time of birth, but it's it depending of what house, what luck or what he was getting with this. Um, he also had, so during this time, he had Mars over Pluto. That's a very angry transit, Mars over Pluto. So even though there's this disbelief, and also two just small transits, but it's amazing. We've got Mercury over Uranus. So there was unexpected communication. I fully believe, due to these transits here, that he did not think that he was going to get arrested or they would not get him. I really do feel like that. Now, he's got, but at the same time, when they did, because this is what got him off guard, sort of an unexpected communication that he got here. He would have got pretty angry. Got that Chiron still near that Pluto. They got the Mars near that Pluto. He would be furious, but yet still having this belief system that everything was going to be okay. He also had, leading up to it, he had the North Node going hitting over the Sun, hitting the Mercury, hitting Mars. So there was a destiny about communication, or life lesson about communication here. The Mars, about strength or anger, leading up to this as well. During the trial, we actually had Chiron when we got to 96. When he got arrested, found guilty, he actually had Chiron over Neptune. So that would have been like a dissolve in pain transit. Again, it can be a bit of a psychological-ish thing with dealing with Neptune. And but leading up to the trial, so October 95, and even coming January 96, Jupiter had made its way over to this part of the chart here. And he would have felt like he was going to get away with this. I asked ChatGPT and it said no, there was no evidence. And then when I explained what I was seeing in the chart, it said, oh, well, yeah, like there may have been. So I dare say, like when Jupiter had come over and he got to Mars, he felt more confident in himself. When it hit Mercury, there would have been like, because they did say, ChatGPT did say that he felt like there wasn't enough evidence to say that he had done it. So I feel like there would have been some communication or something came out that from his side of like it was lawyers or something would have come out and he would have felt like, yeah, I've got this in the bag. This ain't going to happen. Especially when Jupiter also hitting his sun in that January. Yeah, he had this, he would have had a belief that he wasn't going to get found guilty. And it would have been because of the transits that are there. Even though, yeah, he was found guilty as we know. He went to jail. So it is really interesting in the astrology transits, and when you link it up to the dates, I was just amazed because not all the time I can't see a lot with just the birthday, but in that case I can. Now when I was tuning in to this energy of him, as I said, he's very particular on how he did the ropes. Like I feel like this is someone who went to like scouts or they took their time in learning. And I feel like being outdoors and camping, and because he would have been seeking adventure, that whole Sag energy with him, even though there's that practical Capricorn energy, he had that seeking adventure energy. And I do feel like he's got like headstrong. There's a show off. I got cheeky smile. When you look at some of the photos, you can see that cheeky smile. You can see that youthfulness. Even when he was like on uh, towards the end there, you can see that youthfulness with him, and that's that Gemini and that Sag energy. Now, I do feel, as I said, I felt family members were involved. It's blood. I got blood here, and it was when he had more than one victim. Um, and And he kept on showing me jewelry, like a lot of jewelry and things in in a box. And he told me he liked nice things. And then I looked it up and I found out he actually did keep watches and necklaces and jewelries and rings. He did. Some things he gave away, like he kept like camping gear, but gave that stuff away. But he would keep trophies, and that was more the jewelry. So because he was showing me all this jewelry that he had, and he told me that he likes nice things. And he got more confident as more he did this, he got more confident with the killings too. And yeah, I kind of there was five. I thought they've said there could be more, but I kind of felt five not found. But I kind of feel like with the DNA that they have, they will be found and they'll be matched with his DNA, is what I kind of felt like. Um, yep. So now I feel like that there was also because I was trying to find out how did he actually get found because I was feeling like a family. a female reported him, and I feel like it was known to him. So I kind of feel like that they may be in a family member, but this would be like a distant family member. But I feel like there was a female that was known to him who reported it or gave information to the police. That's what I kind of found when I looked into this, that I couldn't find that if that's true or not. I couldn't find that out. And also too, he likes seeing the fear in their eyes. That's what I was picking up as well. And he picked up people from not from here, and most of them weren't from here. They were like from Germany and England, and they were easy to erase. It was like easy to the erase their tracks is what I got with. So he was picking certain people, and that's that Gemini. I said that networking, like he would suss people out. I feel, and I kind of feel like he liked to kill. And I felt like he was a bully as well. And when I said, asked him, I said, I asked him, why did he do this? And he wanted to start as he was bored and it was for the thrill that he was doing, like the adventure. And I kind of felt like he would go hunting and kill small animals. I was seeing like rabbits and I was seeing cats, and I kind of feel like that you couldn't trust him with pets. And I did look it up, and there was a history of him when he was younger of harming pets. So yeah, so I was getting information. Some of it I was researching to see if that is because he's passed, and this is a well known one in Australia. Now, with the victims, I kind of feel like that there was. So with Caroline, with her, I got that she was quite brave, and I feel like that she tried to escape with her. Let me just see here. Yeah, Brave tried to escape, but they caught her, and she was telling me that there was two. Because I could see with him there were skeletons in the closet. That to me means secrets, and I know that they're going to come out. Okay, and I do feel like there'll be DNA. I kind of felt there's going to be two, and there was suspicions that someone was helping him, but no one else. And he would took that to the grave where he would not say about any more victims, and he would not say that because he always said that he was innocent. Um, then when we get to and these were the final one. Also, too, I feel like she saw her friend Joanne die. So they actually used her multiple. So she was shot, and they think that she was used as targeting practice. And he said this with this last two, I got that he was overconfident by this time, and like he was they were a bit loose in the way they did things, and I feel like that's what caused the bodies to be found as well, because they weren't as careful because they were overconfident is kind of what I was getting. I also feel like that there was a German lady. I kind of feel like she was very feisty. She was her name is Anja. So sorry. So that happened on the 26th December 1991. And I kind of feel like there's something about the arm. I feel like she fought back. I kind of feel like she spat in their faces or spat at them, because with her, sh they the couple left King's Cross intending to hitchhike. So their bodies were discovered in 93, cause of death. So after they killed her, they decapitated her. And I feel like because she fought back and because she spat in their face, that's why they did what they did to her. Um, yeah, that's what I kind of felt like. But I felt like with her energy, very, very feisty and very strong-willed as well. And wasn't gonna take a lot. I feel like I kind of feel like with her, she could hide her emotions a bit. No, she was with guy. She was with a guy. Okay. Also, too, did I get? Trying to see what else. Any of my notes too. There was Deborah. Um, with her, I just got that she was very scared. with her as well. So um, she was very emotional and very scared as it was with that one. But this is a man we're dealing with, but he's got no emotion, and he doesn't. I didn't get a lot of care. He doesn't care either. Even now, I'm hearing I don't care with this. Uh, so yeah, so we'll end up there. And it's a bit of a tough one with this one. It is but it's a well-known case in Australia. He was preying on, and I feel like with this, it changed a lot about terms of safety, because I remember back in the day, people would pick people up backpacking and give them a lift, and now it's a bit more cautious. You don't do that now. So I feel like this sort of gave that sort of stranger danger that you don't. It did make that um a lot in Australia, so changed the way that we see that. I feel like too. So I think that's about it. And it's a lot to go through this video. So if you've stayed with me, thank you. I know it's a lot. I don't want to go through, like, as I said, there's 7 here. Um, it's sad, but they got justice for these people in the end. I thought they will find justice for the other people who are missing too. It is a case you want me to look at, please put it down. We're actually going to do a podcast with my friend. We're going to do a podcast on this case as well. And we might also, yeah, we're going to do some more work on this. And but this is just what I've found with this case. But let me know what you think, and let me know if there's a case that you want me to do. Put it down in the comment section. As always, thank you for your likes, shares, and your comments. We got to say this video is for entertainment purposes only, and yeah, my condolences for the families involved and for the also the victims too, because how they left this world isn't a very nice way to leave. But also, we've got to remember, as I said with the astrology, it broke my mind because it linked up, and the astrology chart is like your soul contract. It's like a pathway, and it's like, of what's happening in your life. And it definitely does show that in this case, as it does always the case. I always say whatever the planets have in store for you, but it's because these transits happened and this is the way it panned out for this person's life, doesn't mean it's going to pan out for other people. It's always different. Depends what your soul has agreed to in this lifetime as well. But thank you. So thank you for your likes, shares, and your comments, and I will see you for my next video. And yeah, thanks a lot.